Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from Mudavadi watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, civilian way of governance is what any citizen in any country would prefer to have, rather than having military leadership in any country. Because with the civilian, then you will have time to vote for someone, and above all, there is a way you can also speak to that government. And when they are ruling, when they are ruling, also they know that there is someone behind them in the name of military who are also watching if they are messing the country. But then if you have military, there is no one who is watching on them. Maybe their word becomes the law because the constitution then is suspended. So with what is going on in Niger, of course, we had discussed here earlier, no one is supporting that. You want a democratic way of governance in Africa. And already the United Nations had condemned it, the African Union had condemned it, the European Union had condemned it, the US also had condemned in their speech. In fact, it's a written speech. And above all, William Ruto has become now the first president among all other presidents in Africa and in the world to come live in a press statement to condemn what is going on in Niger. The anger in his face, the panic also, the body language is telling a lot. He is the first president. And people were like, why couldn't he just, because this one was a written speech, why couldn't he just send it to the media? Then they can release it and it will be very clear that this is the message from the President of the Republic of Kenya. But he decided himself in his state house to go on camera and record this statement for release.
On Wednesday, Africa suffered a serious setback in its democratic gains as the aspirations of the people of Niger for constitutional democracy were subverted by an unconstitutional change of government that deposed Mohamed Bazoum, a democratically elected president. The Republic of Kenya joins the rest of the world to condemn in the strongest terms this unconstitutional act that subverts democracy through a coup d'etat, and calls for the immediate release of President Mohamed Bazoum, who is reportedly seized by members of the Presidential Guard. Throughout our continent's history, we have strived tirelessly to nurture the principles of democracy, aligning ourselves with the aspirations of the African people for freedom and self-determination. This fundamental norm is crystallized in Article 4P of the Constitutive Act of the African Union, which unequivocally condemns and rejects any unconstitutional change of government. The government and the people of Kenya earnestly urge all parties involved to refrain from further escalation that might jeopardize the lives and livelihoods of the people of Niger. We call for the swift restoration of constitutional rule, ensuring the protection of the population and a return to full civilian authority while upholding utmost respect for the country's institutions. In this moment of strife, we implore all parties to engage in constructive discourse to restore peace in this fraternal nation, which has steadfastly stood as a bulwark against terrorism and its agents in the Sahel region. The resurgence of military coups and attempts to subvert the will of the people on our beloved continent demands a united and global response to hold those responsible accountable for their actions. Let us stand together as one to reaffirm our commitment to democracy, liberty, and the progress we have achieved. We must remain vigilant, guarding against any slide back into dark days that threaten the hard-fought gains in democracy. Kenya is willing to assist in resolving the conflict under the auspices of the African Union, should it be deemed appropriate. Africa shall continue to shine as a beacon of hope and progress, and we shall never waver in our pursuit of a brighter future for all. May peace and prosperity prevail across our great continent and beyond. Thank you, and God bless Africa.
Now we are continuing with this panel discussion, but just a quick request for those who are watching and you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing to our returning subscribers. Master, thank you so much, and again to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, there's no any problem to show solidarity with the Niger president, who is now under siege, has been captured. But now, what is the essence of coming to the press and then issue this statement on camera? What was the big reason behind this? And why only Ruto, the first president, to do so? You know, if you look at William Samoei Ruto and how he's operating, first of all, we have so many problems in this country to handle. The issue of legitimacy is still haunting William Samoei Ruto. The governance of this country is still in question. How is handling Kenyans is a question of debate in this country. With all these things, where is Ruto getting the time to go and record such statement? Siyako na watu wa kuandika tu statement na release vile iliandikwa hivyo. And when he talk, you would think like Kenya is at peace, that everything is doing well. Yani anafanya yaonekana kama Kenya ndio superpower ya Africa. Hey. First of all, this is a sign of panic and fear of unknown because of what is going on in this country. Seemingly, Ruto is showing signs of instability when he is already in power. And because of that, since what has happened in Niger is being blamed on the issue of governance and the economic situation, and then security, stability of the security in the country. There are things that we are questioning also in this country. Governance is a whole big question. How are you governing a country when goons are being sponsored by the government to go and intrude into other people's property? Then even you cannot manage peace. Here in Kenya, Ruto wants to solve the issue of peace through a gun. A gun cannot bring peace. So there are many problems here for Ruto to sort, but he's not sorting out. This quick response confirms that. And a woga fulani. And it's also a message to security sector here in country, in Kenya, that what has happened in Niger should never happen here. Because if now you are in leadership, then you are showing your weak sides. You go and tell members of parliament to recruit people who are behaving like goons to counter demonstrators. You go and unleash goons to demonstrators. You use police officers to kill. Some police officers refuse to take your orders, so you resort to goons. Then military is watching people dying in this country without a good reason behind it, as if police were in really serious danger of attack from the public, which is not true. Wanaangalia wanaona pia wewe you are a failure. Because of this, they will say there is security instability. So there are many issues Ruto need to sort in this country rather than just focusing on what is happening elsewhere. he can release that statement in the press, not coming on camera. Because even then, what example is he showing that country when the soldiers in Niger can tell him in face that you have many problems in Kenya to sort out. You haven't sorted out. So you have no moral authority to start coming here to lecture us on our own matter. So what I'm here, sort the problem in Kenya first. Then from there you can, now nchi zingine pia wanaangalia Ruto. Ruto amekuwa na kiherehere nyingi. Hata kama kiherehere yake imekuwa nyingi. Even where there is problem, he want to come like is that solution as if he can offer it. And this is the kind of behavior Ruto was doing. He was sending food from Kenya to Sudan as if people in Kenya were okay, when we know that our own people were dying in Turkana. We saw a cargo flight taking food to Somalia, as if there was no hunger in Kenya, when our own people were dying in Turkana. So this kind of approach to every issue as if you are the solution, it will even land Ruto in more problem. Because then people are looking back in your country. Before you bring your food here, are your people okay? Wako na njaa. Si ni pia kujipendekeza. You talk about the issue of peace, stability. Back home you are fighting a retired president. You are fighting opposition leader. You are fighting your own people. You are killing your own people through police orders. So whom are you going to lead when you are killing Kenyans? And now you want to talk about the matter to do with peace in Africa and in the world, when you are killing your own people. So Ruto is just exposing himself, and the ignorance is just obvious coming out in his own statement. Because he attracts now the focus of the people, and when they check in Kenya, they see how people are being brutalized. There are many problems here. Before you expose your anger, fear, and panic, and fear, sort the problem in Kenya first. We know there's no one who is happy with the coup, even we don't want it here, but you sort your problems in Kenya first before you think of Niger and any other country.